The thought landed in my mind as I stared at my phone screen, waiting for someone to respond to my message. What if they think I'm needy? My heart rate picked up. I put the phone down, face down. Sound familiar? This anxiety, this fear of judgment, governs more of your daily choices than you might realize. Your morning outfit selection, the comments you type but delete, the opportunities you don't pursue, the authentic self you keep hidden. We build elaborate cages for ourselves, constructed from anticipated criticisms that may never materialize. You live not in reality but in a projection of how you think others perceive you. A simulation within a simulation. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in this mental prison. They never live as themselves. They perform various roles: the perfect employee, the ideal partner, the supportive friend, while their authentic self remains buried under layers of expectation and fear. What if I told you that freedom from this prison takes just one thought? Not a complicated meditation practice. Not years of therapy. Not a life-changing event. One thought. Your brain generates approximately 6,000 thoughts per day. Among these thousands, a single reorientation of perspective can transform your experience of life. This isn't magical thinking, it's cognitive restructuring, a centerpiece of modern psychology. William James, the father of American psychology, wrote, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind." Your perception shapes your reality more than external circumstances. Consider Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, who understood this 2,000 years ago when he wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The prison you perceive exists primarily in your mind. The walls are thoughts. The guards are assumptions. The locks are beliefs about what others think of you. Yesterday at lunch, I watched a man take 17 minutes to gather courage to speak to someone at another table. His hands trembled. He rehearsed words under his breath. When he finally approached, the conversation lasted 30 seconds. He walked back defeated. What held him back wasn't reality but interpretation, a prediction of rejection, embarrassment, judgment. His suffering came not from what happened but what he thought might happen. This tyranny of anticipation rules most lives. People avoid speaking up in meetings, expressing genuine emotions, pursuing dreams, or living authentically because they predict negative outcomes. The brain presents these predictions as facts rather than what they truly are, fiction written by fear. Alfred Adler, whose ideas formed the backbone of modern psychology, proposed that many psychological issues stem from feeling inferior and seeking validation. We perform for an audience that may not even be watching. We dance for applause that might never come. The turning point comes with one critical realization: other people are too preoccupied with their own insecurities to judge yours as harshly as you imagine. The spotlight effect, thoroughly researched at Cornell University, confirms this. People consistently overestimate how much others notice their appearance, behaviors, and mistakes. The person obsessing about the coffee they spilled on their shirt doesn't realize everyone else is worrying about their own metaphorical coffee stains. Your coworker isn't analyzing your presentation skills, she's worrying about her own upcoming deadline. The person at the gym isn't judging your form, he's self-conscious about his own body. Your friends aren't tallying your social missteps, they're hoping you don't notice theirs. We are all, in essence, performing on empty stages. This perspective shift unlocks freedom. What others think of you is largely a projection from your own mind, not reality. And even when people do judge, their opinions reflect their worldview, not your worth. Ryan Holiday writes in, "The obstacle is the way. That perception is the root of all human behavior. Change your perception, and behavior naturally follows." A practical example. I once worked with a client who couldn't speak in meetings because she believed everyone would think she was stupid. We tested this belief by having her deliberately say something stupid in a safe setting. The result? People either didn't notice, responded supportively, or were too focused on their own contributions to care. The freedom granting thought is disarmingly simple. No one is thinking about you as much as you think they are. This isn't depressing, it's liberating. The prison dissolves when you realize the guards were never real. Psychologist Harriet Lerner explains, anxiety is extremely contagious, but so is calm. When you release yourself from imagined judgment, you create space for authentic expression. The transformation begins with awareness. Notice when you're avoiding authenticity due to anticipated judgment. Ask yourself, what's the evidence that this judgment will occur? Is this my assumption or reality? An exercise. Write down 3 actions you've avoided due to fear of judgment. Next to each, write what you assume others will think. Then challenge each assumption with, how do I know this is true? What evidence do I have? What would I tell a friend with the same fear? The answers often reveal the imaginary nature of the threat. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from attachment. Modern psychology clarifies that significant suffering comes from attachment to others' opinions. Your authentic self waits patiently behind this attachment, ready to emerge when you're ready to release it. This release doesn't happen overnight. Old thought patterns have neural pathways strengthened by repetition. New pathways feel unfamiliar at first. Start small. Express a minor opinion you'd normally withhold, or something slightly outside your comfort zone. Share an idea without prefacing it with, this might be stupid, but... Notice what happens. The world doesn't end. People rarely react as negatively as predicted. This evidence builds confidence for larger expressions of authenticity. Fear of judgment kept our ancestors alive. In tribal settings, rejection meant death. Your brain evolved to prioritize social acceptance. This mechanism protected our species but limits your individual joy in the modern world. Your brain needs an update, a new thought to replace the outdated programming. Remember, this journey isn't about becoming insensitive to others. It's about distinguishing between constructive feedback and imagined judgment. Your authentic self, the one free from performance anxiety, makes better decisions, forms deeper connections, and experiences greater fulfillment. This self waits one thought away. The next time anxiety about others' perceptions arises, remember, they're too busy starring in their own mental movies to give yours a full viewing. This realization doesn't eliminate all stress, but it rightfully shrinks it to manageable proportions. You stand at a crossroads. Continue performing for an imaginary audience, or step into authenticity by changing one thought. The choice will ripple through every aspect of your existence. One thought. That's the distance between imprisonment and freedom, between anxiety and peace, between performance and authenticity. What will you choose?